Hi there and welcome to this 56th live tech Q&A session where you can ask me some tech related questions and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. And you can post your tech related questions in the YouTube comments and I'll take them up. And we do this for about 35 minutes or so. And also if you are on Twitter, it's a good idea to follow me on Twitter at the rate Geekyranjit, because throughout the week I can't post all the stuff on YouTube. I post some snippets etc. on Twitter. So let's start this session, and the first question I got is from Harsh Yadav, and it goes something like this. He has a couple of questions. The first question he says is, what is the use of the WPS button on my Wi-Fi router? The WPS button is known as Wi-Fi protected setup, and let's say you have a very big password on your Wi-Fi router and it's tough to remember. If you use the WPS button and your client, let's say for example the smartphone etc. also supports WPS, you can just hit that WPS button, and generally it depends from router to router. Within a minute or two, if you just press that WPS button on the client also, for example our smartphone, you don't have to enter the password. They do negotiate themselves. So it's an easy way to secure stuff, and I would say it's if you do not encrypt your stuff because you think that it's complicated, it's a good idea to use WPS. But again, make sure both the devices, your router should support WPS, and even the client or whatever device, that also has to support WPS. And he also had a couple of more questions. Harsh is asking us, what is the release date of Android L? Google hasn't announced as of now the official release date of Android L, but there is an event on September 15th in India by Google. I don't know if they will announce Android L on that date. Heard the rumors that it will be about the Android One program, that is affordable smartphones that will run stock Android experience. So we'll know very soon. Third question he says is, when I use my Moto G's camera with flash to shoot pictures in low lighting conditions, they come out to be quite red. Okay, and the question fades away. Yes, the camera on the Moto G original one was not that great, and in low lighting conditions it was not that great. I have the new version of the Moto G, that is the 2014 edition. I actually did not test the camera a lot. I did take some snaps and it seems to be much better than the original version, but I will thoroughly test the new version, that is this 2014 edition's camera, very soon. So stay tuned to my channel for that. So that was from Harsh. Let's just move to the next question. Let me just locate them. This is again a PC related question, so let's take that. This is from Gaurav Chaudhary. And again, guys, just don't post passages and passages, because as you can see, only a few lines can be displayed here. So keep it short and don't ask multiple questions. So anyways, he says he has three questions. First, is there any software or tool to downsample the 24.2 megapixel images out of a DSLR to 5 or 8 megapixel to enhance the quality, like what Nokia did in PureView and Lumia 1020? I generally just download the pictures. For example, I also use a DSLR. I think so mine shoots at about 20 megapixels. I just download it, and I use third-party softwares using which you can actually compress it if you want. And with your DSLR also, you might have got some software that can do that. And also Adobe utilities are there. For example, if you don't want to spend too much, we have Adobe Photoshop Elements. That is also a very powerful tool. So you can have a look at that. The second question he asks is the Mac Mini a good option to be a home theater PC? Yes, Mac Mini is actually a very good option for a home theater PC, and it's actually a very powerful machine. In fact, I am using a Mac Mini right now. The one I'm using is the Core i7 version, and I do all my video editing and this live streaming etc. is being done from the Mac Mini. So yes, definitely you can also use it as a home theater PC. It's a pretty powerful machine. So let me move to the next question. Oops. This is by one second, let me just post that question. Again, I'm trying this new YouTube thing, so it's just okay. This is by Suesh Sharma. And he says, when will Xiaomi Mi Band and Xiaomi Mi 4 will be launched in India? Will you review the Mi Band after its launch in India or not? Suvash, I will try to review the Mi Band, but I'm not very sure if Xiaomi will launch that or not. But the Xiaomi Mi 4 is going to come soon. This is the Mi 3 right now. I heard that the Mi 4 will come at end of 2014. So expect it to be around the November mark. So let's see, and we'll be interested to see how Xiaomi prices that. Let's move to the next one. This is by us. 1 second. Again, this YouTube comments is driving me nuts. Anyways, this is by Sagar, and he says, any expectations on the Note 4, Note 4 Edge pricing? Will the iPhone 6 affect the pricing? Then I heard rumors, again these are rumors guys, the Note 4 is going to officially launch next month in India. We have no information about the Note Edge. The Note 4, I heard rumors that will be priced around the 50K mark. We have no information about the Edge, but I heard that the Edge would be priced a lot more higher than that. So it will be interesting to see. And also iPhone 6 is going to be announced today after about 3.5 hours or so. So we know that, but I heard that again it's a sad news that the iPhone 6 pricing in India at least would be slightly even more compared to the iPhone 5s pricing. I hope that does not happen, keeping my fingers crossed regarding that. So let me move to the next question now. And this is by Sharat. He says, Motorola should have set the price high on the Moto G second edition. It's not fair for the user of the first gen Moto G. Do you agree? This is by Sharat. I do not agree, Sharat, because pricing of these smartphones generally, if you see, keep on falling. And the Moto G came out in what? I don't recall. It's around February, March. And generally, just after about 4 or 5 months, the prices of the smartphones do fall a lot in India. Just take the example of the Samsung Galaxy S5. It was launched at 51,000, and just after 1 month, it was about 30-40 days, it was priced selling for about 38,000. So the pricing of the smartphones do fall a lot. And I think so Motorola did a good job. Yes, the Moto G new edition is slightly larger, an improved version of the earlier version of the Moto G, I would say. And they have priced it around 1,000 rupees less. But you have to understand that now there is a lot more competition in the market. And if you take this Xiaomi into consideration, that sells for around 14,000. And in raw specs, the Xiaomi is a way more powerful device compared to this Moto G second edition. So I don't think so you should be annoyed with that, because if you look at the smartphone pricing, generally every smartphone, if you see, within and this is specifically for the high-end market, within a month or 45 days of the launch, the pricing just falls too much. So that's how it goes. So let me move to the next question. This is an interesting question by Jason, and he says, do you think that a 2K screen is worth the performance sacrifice? Is such a high resolution necessary? Jason, I do not think so. This 2K thing is necessarily. I am using this LG G3, which has a 2K screen, that quad HD or whatever. But to be very frank, it hardly makes a difference. If I use even a 1080p screen, that also looks that much sharp. So moving from a 1080p screen to this 2K screen, I would say it's just marketing. I could not, see a major difference unless I just look like this and I'm just looking for the difference. From a normal viewing distance for about 1 feet when we hold our phones, I do not see any much difference. And yes, these 2K screens do consume a little bit more battery life. Hence, I feel the battery life on this LG G3 is not as good as that was on the LG G2. So let me just move to the next one now. And this is by Nayan. He says, good evening. Is Moto E a good phone? I got it today. Tell me the pros and cons and suggest an alternative for the Moto E. Do you get bored by your work unboxing phones and reviewing the same work again and again? This is by Nan. Very interesting question. The Moto E is still a very good phone, I would say. For the price point, it's selling for about 7,000. You are getting a very good deal. You're getting a very good phone from a Tar 1 brand. And yes, now we have some alternatives. The what do you say, Xiaomi Redmi 1S is there, and also the Zenfone 4 is there. But the battery life on the Zenfone 4 is not as great as the Moto E. If you're a big time gamer, yes, the Zenfone 4 has a slight edge, I would say. But for general usage, I would say the Moto E is a very good phone. And it'll be interesting to see how this Redmi 1S competes, because it's priced a little bit less. Again, to get all the info about the Moto E, you can check out my in-depth review. I've already reviewed that. I would say the con with the Moto E is the internal storage. The internal storage with the Moto E is a little bit on the lesser side. And regarding getting bored with my work, no, I was always a geek, and I still get excited whenever I get a new phone or a new gadget. So let's move to the next question. This is again a related question. This is by Sogat. He says, what is the best phone among the Zenfone 440, Redmi 1S, and the Moto E? Gaming and battery backup is the concern. Sogat, I haven't reviewed the Zenfone 450 or the Redmi 1S, so I just cannot talk about that right now. But I'll give you an idea about the Zenfone 4. The Zenfone 4 performance was very good, but the battery life compared to the Moto E was not that great. So I will try to review the Zenfone 450 and even the Redmi 1S. I just got an SMS today that my Redmi 1S is going to ship today from Flipkart. So hopefully in the next 2 days, 2 or 3 days, I should get it. So just stay tuned to my channel regarding that. Let's just move to the next question now. This is by N.A. Gull. He says, my question is, why in India Samsung is not selling Snapdragon-based Galaxy S5 and only selling the Exynos-based one? Enable, in fact, now Samsung is even selling the Snapdragon version, but it is priced a lot higher. The Snapdragon 801 version is officially available in India, but again, I think it's around 50K, but the Exynos version is selling for what, 37 or 38,000 or so. I hope that the Note 4, when it is launched in India, we do get the Snapdragon version instead of the Exynos version. Just keeping my fingers crossed for that. Let me just move to the next question. This is a computer related question. Let's take that. And this is by Nitesh. He says, I'm planning to buy a MacBook Pro, but I'm confused between the 13 or the 15 incher. As 13-inch offers dual-core processor and the 15 offers quad-core processor. What should I do, or should I wait for a new MacBook to be launched? Please help me. Nitesh, I would say, based upon your usage, if you are going to use, again, depends upon the screen size. If 13 inches is okay for you, but if you feel the 13 inches is smaller, then obviously you have the 15-incher. But in terms of the applications, I would say analyze what are you going to do. If you're going to do very heavy stuff like video editing, 3D modeling, stuff like that, then I would say the 15-incher quad-core one would be beneficial. But again, if you're going to just use it for normal usage scenarios, for example, doing Facebook, writing documents, doing all that kind of stuff, even the 13-inch is way more powerful. In fact, I use the MacBook Air, which also is just a dual-core version, the Core i5 version, and sometimes I do video editing even on that. So it's not like the 13-inch version is crippled or something like that. But yes, if you're going to do video editing and heavy stuff every day, then the 15-incher makes sense. So let's move to the next question. And just give me a second, guys. Again, it's just scrolling. This is by Sun J. He says, I want to buy the Moto G second generation. Please advise me on some specific areas. One, I guess you're using the Moto G second generation for the last couple of days. How was your experience with it? Was it laggy of any sort? And how is the battery life? What should be a good buy, Zenfone 5 or the Moto G? Very interesting question by Sanjay. Yes, I have been using this Moto G second edition now for almost 2 days now. In terms of performance, I would say the performance is actually pretty good. It is very similar to the last generation of Moto G. I do not notice any lagginess or something like that. But yes, with some very heavy apps, for example, I use the Chrome browser and I generally use desktop websites and I use some very heavy websites. So when I come out of the Chrome browser, there is a half a second delay. But apart from that, I would say I haven't noticed any what do you say lagginess or anything like that for normal apps that I use. So in terms of performance, it is performing well, and the performance is very similar to the last generation Moto G. Where this Moto G second generation is improved is you get a slightly larger screen size, I would say, and many people were asking me about the screen quality. The screen quality is actually very good. Viewing angles also, as you can see, are actually very good. And also the front firing speakers, they do make a lot of difference if you watch stuff like movies and do gaming, because they are now stereo instead of the mono back speaker that we have. And the camera is also improved. So I would say yes, it's overall improvement compared to the last generation of the Moto G. Regarding the Zenfone 5, I would say in a multitasking department, I felt that the Zenfone 5 was slightly better because it had 2 gigs of RAM. But in terms of battery life, I would say this second generation of Moto G is much better compared to the Zenfone 5. With the Zenfone 5, with even casual usage, I had to charge it at the night. But with this, I can almost get about 2 days of battery life with very casual usage. And with my normal usage scenarios, it lasts me 1 full working day. So battery life is any day better on the Zenfone 5. And also the speaker output. The speaker output on the Zenfone 5 is very teeny if you just watch my video review. So overall, I would say in terms of gaming, I would say the Zenfone 5 would be slightly better and for very heavy multitaskers. But in terms of battery life and overall usage, I prefer the Moto G over the Zenfone 5. Both are great phones, but the battery life on the Zenfone 5 might be a factor that is important if you are out all the day. Because even with my normal usage scenarios on the Zenfone 5, in evening a day, if I had heavy, I had to put it on charge in around evening time. I hope that info helps. Let me. Balram also is asking a very similar question. I just answered, so I won't take up that. Let's just move to the next questions. And this is by Kurpesh Raval, looking nice with the expensive glasses. Your eyes better. Yes, I'm just using these Gunner glasses. I just unboxed this about 3-4 days ago, and I'm trying this for next 2 weeks whenever I'm in front of my computers, because I was getting some eye sore issues. And I would say as of now, I don't know how well they are working, but I'm not getting that much eye strain. So I'm using it whenever I'm using the computer. So again, I'm still in my process of testing it. So we'll see after a couple of weeks how well it is. And this question is from Priyansh Gupta. He says, I have a Xiaomi Mi 3. Should I stay with that or change to the Moto G second generation? I would definitely say that stick with the Xiaomi Mi 3. The Mi 3 is a way more powerful device compared to the Moto G. It's almost 2x faster in performance. This has a Snapdragon 800 chipset. This has just a Snapdragon 400 chipset. Also, the RAM is a lot more. So definitely, if you are just using a single SIM, I would say if you already have a Mi 3, there is no point of moving to the Moto G second edition. Let me move to the next question. This is by Sam TechByte. He says, as I can see you using the Blue Yeti mic, how do you use it? You connect it to your camera or match audio in post-production? And what about these types of videos, live videos? Please help me. I have just bought the Blue Yeti mic. Sam, yes, I'm using, this is the Blue Yeti mic. This is a microphone, and this gets attached to the, what do you say, USB port. This does not attach directly to the camera, so you have to sync up the audio in post. And for this live, what do you say, stuff, it is just connected to my computer, and it is detected as a mic. And with this live hangouts, you can go in the settings and select which mic you want, so it works seamlessly. So let's move to the next question. And again, this is by Satwik. He says, is the iPhone 5s 37K a good buy? Have you received your Redmi 1S? Yes, the iPhone 5s at the current price of about 37,000 is a good one, I would say. But the iPhone 6 is just going to be announced today. And I would say just hold on for some time, because generally when a new iPhone is announced and launched or whatever, the prior version does get a price cut. So if you're not in a too much hurry, I would say just wait for some time. Within 10 days, the price of the iPhone 5s that is selling at 37K, I'm hoping that the price would fall down by a couple of $1,000. And yes, still I feel the iPhone 5s is a great device if you're okay with that 4-inch screen. Let me just look at it. Just give me a second, guys. This comment tracker is not updating for some reason. Always have issues with this live stuff. It's crazy to manage it alone. Anyways, I'll just take up the questions manually here. It's not updating, I don't know, for some reason. This is by Tanish. He says, which is better, LG G3 or the HTC One M8 or any other high-end device that you can suggest? Tanish, I would say, still I would say the HTC One M8 was one of the most fluid Android device that I have used in 2014. The performance was brilliant, and I didn't have to do any tweaks, etc., to get that performance. The battery life was also very good, but the camera on the HTC One M8, the front-facing as well as the rear-facing camera, was simply not that great. So if camera is a priority, I would not suggest the HTC One M8. I'm currently using this LG G3. It is not as fluid as the HTC One M8, but again, it is now bearable and manageable. It works, and now I have made some tweaks, and in fact, I made a specific video regarding the tweaks that I made. I moved from Dalvik to ART, and I made some changes, and now it's a lot more fluid, I would say. And the camera on this LG G3 is actually much better. The front-facing camera is also very good, and I did actually shoot some of my videos directly from the front-facing camera of this LG G3. Even the rear-facing camera of this LG G3 is also very good. So if the camera and overall performance you're looking at, I would say LG G3 goes at the top. But if you want the most fluid experience, no lag or whatever, and camera is not a priority, still the HTC One M8 is a great option. I also heard that the Moto X 2014 that is going to be launched soon in India by the end of this September is also a very fluid device. So I'm looking forward to check that out also. So if you can wait, because as of now Motorola hasn't hinted the pricing or the availability. They just said that in the press release that it will be launched by the end of September, and that also has the Snapdragon 801 processor that's used by the LG G3 and even the HTC One M8. This is by Danny. How is the call quality of the second generation Moto G? Yes, I had issues with the call quality of the first generation Moto G. I actually, to be very frank, did not make a lot of voice calls. I have just made about 4 or 5 voice calls on this Moto G second edition, and they seem to be a little bit actually much better compared to the Moto G first generation. I'm not getting that very muffly sound or whatever, but the call quality is very clear, but I don't get that warm sound from the speaker, to be very frank. But the call quality is actually very good. I will be testing a lot more regarding the call quality because the calls that I made, 4 or 5, were not that very long calls. They were just about 4 or 5 minutes. So I try to make 1 or 2 long calls and test. But overall, I would say the call quality is improved compared to the original version. That is the Moto G 2013 edition. This is by Tony, and he asks us which phone is having a better camera, the Galaxy S5 or the Mi 3. Tony, I would say the Galaxy S5 has a slight edge because it does focus a lot faster, and the HDR mode on the Galaxy S5 is fabulous. But again, it's silly to compare because the price difference between the Xiaomi Mi 3 and the Galaxy S5 is too much. But yes, the Galaxy S5 has an upper edge in terms of the camera performance compared to the Xiaomi Mi 3. And this is again a question by Sam. He says, will you be buying the iPhone 6? If yes, what size? 4.7 incher or the 5.5 incher? I would opt for the 4.7 inch because if you have been following me, I'm not a big fan of very large size phones. And even though LG did a very good job, this has a 5.5 inch screen and it has very thin bezel, but still I feel it's a little bit wide to hold, and single hand operations is a little bit difficult. So yes, I might give a try to the iPhone 4.7 incher. Again, it depends upon the pricing. If the pricing is crazy stupid, then I might give it a pass. Let me just look at other questions. This is by THRBS. Yeah, very peculiar question. He says he's planning to upgrade. He's using a CDMA phone from Reliance, and he's planning to upgrade to a new CDMA smartphone. But he says the choices are limited. Yes. So what's your choice? He says he's trying to buy the HTC Desire 816, but it supports nano SIM. Reliance not providing nano SIM. Many people having problem with the converted SIM from normal to nano, like bad signal strength, call drop, etc. Please suggest a good CDMA mobile. Guys, you have to help me regarding this because I actually don't use a CDMA phone, and I haven't reviewed any CDMA phone except the HTC Desire 816, which is a nice phone that accepts CDMA SIM. So if you are using a CDMA SIM and a specific smartphone that you think is great, do suggest the Airbus in the comments. It will be highly appreciated. Let's move to the next question. This is by Sheet K. He says, I want to buy a smartphone within the rupees 20,000 budget. I was planning to buy either the Moto G 2nd edition or the Samsung Galaxy Grand 2. Which one would you suggest, or should I wait for the OnePlus One? Ashit, I'm not very sure when this OnePlus One will launch in India, or and at what price. That is, I heard that again, these are rumors that the OnePlus One, when it launches, it will be around 24,000. Again, these are rumors, guys. And again, they have that silly invite system, so it's not easy to get. I would say if you can wait for some time, the Xiaomi Mi 4 might be the ideal choice. I heard that it will be priced around the 20,000 mark, hopefully below the 20K mark. So I would say if you can wait till about, say, November time, you can get the Mi 4, which will be a way more superior to this Moto G2 and even the, Grand 2. But as of now, I would say if you're not a very heavy multitasker or something like that, you can go with the Moto G 2nd edition at 13,000 rupees. I would say it's an excellent deal. So I would suggest that. But if you are a slight, and the reason I would suggest you this Moto G 2nd edition over the Grand 2 is, first is regarding the cost, you save quite a bit of money compared to the Grand 2. And second thing is this Moto G Android phone will get Android L update. That is confirmed by Motorola. And I'm not very sure about Samsung, because Samsung generally has a tendency to ignore their mid-range and lower tier phones. They generally do not get upgrades to the next version of Android. So at this point, the Moto G 2nd edition is looking like a good bet. But again, if you can wait for a November time frame, you might be able to get the Mi 4 for that price, Xiaomi Mi 4. I hope that answers your question. This is by Asian, again a very peculiar question. Anyways, I'll take that. What do you think happened to the 8GB version of the Asus Zenfone 5? Why is it still not available on Flipkart even after such a long time? And you think the price of the Zenfone 5 will be reduced in the light of the launch of the Moto G in order to attract more customers. I don't think so the price of the Asus Zenfone 5 8GB will fall further, because it's already at 10,000 rupees. But yes, the Zenfone 5 availability is an issue, and it's just coming in small lots. And in fact, I also had to wait almost 20 days. I was checking the Flipkart website 3 times a day, and I booked it, and after I booked it, within just about 1.5 hours, it was again out of stock. So yes, it is coming, but it's coming in very small slots. So you have to be constantly looking at the Flipkart website to see if it is coming in stock or not. So that's the case with the Asus Zenfone 5. This is a question by Priyansh Gupta. He says, hi Ranjit, please suggest me a good Android launcher. I don't like the MIUI launcher very much on the Xiaomi device. Yes, the Xiaomi devices come with their typical launcher, which is the Mi launcher, which some of you might not like, but you can just install this Google launcher. For example, as you can see, this is my Mi 3 and I'm using this Google launcher. In fact, I have already made a video regarding this, how to do it, and the performance on this Mi 3 with this Google launcher is also very good, and you get all the functionality of Google Now, etc. So I would suggest that give that a try, and I've already posted a video on how to do the same on my channel. I hope that helps. Let's again, I'm getting this question a lot. I'll take it. This is by Ishan Agarwal. Will you be reviewing the HTC One E8? I don't think so. I'll be reviewing that again, Ishan, because I have to buy most of the phones that I review. Companies don't send me, and as of now, I don't have the budget for HTC One E8, because there are a lot of other big phones that are coming in the market, like the iPhone is coming, the Note 4 is coming, and quite a few other phones. The Moto X is coming, and I feel the Moto X might be a better choice than the HTC One E8. So sorry, I'm not going to review that. Give me a second, guys. Let me move to the next question. Some of you are asking me about gaming laptops. Sorry, I have stopped reviewing computer hardware, so can't comment on that. This is a question by Ankit, and I'm getting similar questions also from a lot of users via email also. I got it, so let me just take it. And Ankit says, should I switch from the old Moto G to the new? How is the screen of the new Moto G? Is there any pixelation? No, there is no pixelation. This is the new Moto G. And again, still the screen is very sharp. It's what, 292 or 293 ppi it comes to, and I don't see any pixelation while doing web browsing, etc. And from the past 2 days, I'm using this one as my main phone, and I'm used to very high screen resolution phones, like even the LG G3 that has a 2K display, and I do not see any pixelation or anything like that. So don't be worried about that. But regarding upgrading from the original Moto G to the new Moto G, I would say, if you are happy with the existing Moto G, you won't see a huge upgrade, because in terms of the raw performance, it's exactly the same. So you won't see a major boost, like it is faster than the original Moto G. In fact, it's the same, because it has the same chipset, it has the same RAM, everything. The only thing is it has a bigger screen and improved speakers. So if you are, and camera obviously, so if you were not happy with the camera performance and you wanted slightly larger screen, then you can look at this new Moto G2. But if you are already happy with the performance of the Moto G and you are thinking that you'll get a great performance boost by moving to the new Moto G, that is not the case. Let me just move to the next question. Just give me a second, guys. This is by Saurav. Sir, do you prefer me buying the Mi 3, as some people are getting faulty pieces and Flipkart is not replacing? Saurav, I also heard that about very small percentage. We don't know the percentage. It's less than 1%, I think. So yes, people are getting some faulty Mi 3, but I'm not sure why Flipkart is not doing that. You can post in the forums about it. Because one of my friends got an issue with this SIM tray and he was able to replace it. So yes, and now the Mi 3 is not being sold by Flipkart as of now. So I'm not sure how can you buy it. I heard that maybe again these are rumors. It will come back to sale again next month because Xiaomi is concentrating as of now for this month on the Redmi 1S. So I would say yeah. I know a lot of people. I know about six people who have the Mi 3 now, and all their Mi 3s are working fine. Yes, as I told you, one of my friend had an issue with the SIM tray, and his piece was replaced by Flipkart. Let me just move to the next question. Just give me a second, guys. This is by Anshu Goyal. He asks us, is the 64-bit processor on the Snapdragon 410 revolutionary step from the Snapdragon 400? I don't think so. It's a big revolutionary step. Yes, this Snapdragon 410 will be the mid-range processor from Qualcomm that has 64-bit capability. So they are filling in that. Generally, with the 64-bit, you get an advantage if you have a lot of RAM, generally over 4 gigs. None of the smartphones have that. So it's just for the marketing because, yes, things are moving to the 64-bit. Now, Qualcomm has a processor for the mid-range market with 64-bit. That's the Snapdragon 410. And we'll start seeing some devices soon with that. Also, the Android next version of Android is 64-bit compatible. This is why YS Prakash he says, sir, the Moto G second generation and the Xiaomi Mi 3 both almost same price. Will you suggest the Moto G as Mi 3 is not available? You have answered your question yourself. Yes, the Moto G is a good device. As I told you, for the last year in 2013, the last edition of the Moto G, I rated it as one of the best mid-range devices. And I think so. This new Moto G is also a very good handset for the price that you are paying. And do remember that you are getting such a device from a Tar 1 brand. In fact, the processor that is used in this Moto G is the same one as used on the Samsung Galaxy S5 Mini, which I was just testing 1 or 2 days ago, and that cost almost 2x. And even if you look at some of the other competing devices, for example, the Sony Xperia T3, that also has the Snapdragon, 400 chipset. So don't think that this Moto G is a crippled device or something. It's a very good device, and we are getting a very good device for the price from a Tar 1 manufacturer. So yes, it's a good device. Let me just move again. This tracker has stopped tracking. God. Anyways. This is by Agam Dikshit. He asked me, what are your initial impressions about the Gunnar glasses that you are wearing? Yes, these are Gunnar glasses, and these are not, I don't have specs or something like vision or something. I can see perfectly without this also. But these are for people who spend a lot of time on computer. I would say more than 6-7 hours, because generally if you spend that much time, you start getting some eye strain. And these glasses try to protect you from that. It's been about 4 days since I'm using it, and yes, it's too early to say, but at the end of the day, I feel that I do not get that much strain now after wearing these glasses. I wouldn't say I don't get any strain, but it is a little bit less. In fact, these are clear type glasses. Gunnar actually suggests that these are the amber ones. But again, I do not use this because I do work with video, and this one actually does change the color a little bit, as you can see, because of that tint. But Gunnar says that these are more effective compared to these clear type glasses. So let me just refresh the questions, guys. Give me a second. Again, this comment section is making me nuts. This is by Pawan Kumar. Again, a very interesting question. He says Moto G2 or the Samsung Galaxy S5 Mini, which is better, which is faster? Pawan, if you do not take the price into account, not bothered about the price, because the S5 Mini is twice the cost of this Moto G, then I would say, yeah, go with the Samsung Galaxy S5 Mini, because yes, it does have a lot more features. For example, the camera I feel is better than the camera on the Moto G2. It also has the fingerprint scanner, has the heart rate sensor, etc. So in terms of features, yes, it is offering some more features, but in terms of performance, it is slightly better because it is clocked a little bit higher. It is clocked at 1.4 gigahertz, whereas this Moto G is clocked at 1.2 gigahertz, and it has 1.5 gigs of RAM. And I would say it's not that fast compared to the Moto G. In day-to-day performance, both performed actually the same. And in fact, I did see some lag more on the S5 Mini because of the TouchWiz, but this Moto G, we get that very stock interface. So I felt this was more responsive. So if price is not a consideration, go with the S5 Mini. Yes, it definitely offers some more features, and you get that fingerprint scanner also, and that works a lot better on the S5 Mini. But if price is into consideration, I simply cannot recommend the S5 Mini, because for what it is offering, Samsung is charging you way more extra, I would say. So that's my opinion about the Galaxy S5 Mini if we compare with the Moto G2. Let me just this is by Mohammed. He's asking best phone under rupees 10,000 price point. As of now, I would say if you are kind of a gamer and do a lot of multitasking, then I would say the Zenfone 5 might be the best bet for 10K. But the con with the Zenfone 5 is the battery life, and the speaker output is not that good. But if you're not worried about that, you can carry a spare, portable charger, for example, like this. Then you can look at the Zenfone 5. This is by Manav Punjabi, and he says, and he has actually 3 questions. And again, I'll be wrapping this up because it's over 40 minutes, guys. He says, is it worth to buy the Nexus 5 now? I love routing and I can't decide a phone with that capabilities below rupees 30,000. I would not suggest you the Nexus 5 now, because rumors are that the Nexus 6 might come very soon. And also we have that new Moto G, the Moto X 2014 edition, and that is going to launch very soon in India also. And that is definitely, if you compare in raw performance, camera, etc., is better than the Nexus 5. I'm not very sure about the ROM market and routing stuff with the Moto X. You can check out that. So I would suggest that just wait for the Moto X 2014 edition, and I think so it should be priced below the 30,000 price bracket. And he's also asking me, will I be reviewing the Xiaomi in-ear headphones? No, I won't be reviewing that. So it's been over 40 minutes, guys, so I'll be ending this Q&A session, and we do this every week on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. India time, and I hope that you'll be able to join me even next week. Thank you for joining me, and again, don't forget to hit that like button if you found this Q&A session helpful. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.